And welcome back as we continue our journey through the book of Acts. Today we are still in chapter 20. And what we've been reading so far about Paul's missionary journeys, usually it's focused on proclaiming the gospel, rebuking those that are hard-headed. But as we have seen a little shift, is that Paul is now on a journey to encourage the believers. So much so, as we have seen in the beginning of chapter 20, as he's going throughout the different towns, encouraging them, taking his time to love on them. And even in Troas, as he's taking his time to teach all throughout the night, even when a young boy falls from the third-story window, looks like he's dead, Paul comes up and makes sure he's okay, and he continues to teach to encourage that body of believers before he continues his journey. Well, we pick up that story in verses 13 through 16. We're going to read a portion of scripture, pull out a timeless truth. Let's dive in. And I do have to warn you, though, there are several Greek words here that I have struggled saying, but hey, show me grace. But let's dive in again. Here we go. But going ahead to the ship, we set sail for Assos, intending to take Paul abroad there, for so he had arranged, intending himself to go by land. And when he met us at Assos, we took him on board and went to Mytilene. And sailing from there, we came the following day opposite Chios. The next day we touched at Samos, and the day after that we went to Miletus. For Paul had decided to sail past Ephesus, so that he might not have to spend time in Asia, for he was hastening to be in Jerusalem, if possible, on the day of Pentecost. You see how crazy those words are? Okay, let's dive in. So every yes we give is saying no to something else. Paul experienced this when he chose to linger longer there in Troas, ministering to the believers and speaking to them throughout the whole entire night. That spirit-led and fruitful decision shifted his travel plans, forcing him to make up for lost time on his journey to Jerusalem. The delay was significant enough that he sailed past Ephesus, where he had invested 3 years of ministry, in order to reach Jerusalem in time for Pentecost. It was a choice that may have caused his heart to ache, wishing he could see those beloved believers and testify that everything that God had done. Yet he accepted it as the cost of pursuing the mission of God that God had placed before him in his time, not Paul's. So in the same way, every yes we give in our own lives carries a cost. Saying yes to one opportunity, relationship, or responsibility inevitably means saying no to something else. Whether it's our time, energy, attention, or another ministry God could have us invest in. Now, this isn't meant to discourage us from saying yes, but it's to remind us to be prayerful and intentional in our commitments. A wise yes is one that aligns with God's priorities, even if it requires sacrifice. When we count the cost before we commit, we are better able to serve with joy, without regret, and with confidence that our yes is serving God's best purpose for our lives. And so, church, I just want to encourage you with this. Yes, let's be intentional what we verbally say yes to as we commit our day. But also watch out for those nonverbal yeses that we commit our time to. And I'm talking about using the phone, doom scrolling, going and watching a movie that's 3 hours long, or binging on Netflix, or doing something else. Those things might be great for distraction, great for us because we're tired and we want to rest, we just want to be entertained. Okay, but that has a cost. And that cost could be time with your spouse, time with your kids, even time for you to actually be healthy, work out, read a book, etc. So be mindful today of not only what you say yes to verbally, but also what you say yes to non-verbally. And I pray that it will align with God's heart, what he has for you and for the people around you. Because when you do that, you're never wasting time. No regrets. God bless.